Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing with the Fanhome Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord build, and we will be continuing where we left off with part 18, which I believe completes our Mastodon head. So without further ado, it is building time. So here we have part 5 of our Mastodon Zord head. And we will be starting with our battery. As I've previously noted, the batteries were packed separately in the single delivery option, so just bear that in mind. And per previous batteries, we are putting the battery protector on it. This will just wrap around the battery like so. I can go to one side. Let's stay open. There we go. Right. So first off, we're going to need our Mastodon head from previous builds, and we will be taking our battery, which will then plug into the connector. Okay, so the battery is going to get housed between these two tabs here. So it just rests inside like that. And plugs in like so. I'm just going to see if this actually works. Yes, we're going to need. So with the backing, it's not showing up the best, but battery does work, as you can see there. So I can turn that off. I just wanted to make sure that was working before we start screwing everything into place and we can't get to it anymore. So next is taking the neck piece and so the shock absorbers need to go into here, but they are currently positioned awkwardly, so I'm going to see if I can turn those around. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so the shock absorbers do rotate in the housing, but they are quite stiff, so I've just got a pair of pliers and gently twisted them into position. There we go, like so. Then this should just slide in like that. There we go. Next up is connecting the two tusks. So it's knowing which one's left and which one's right. If it isn't, that's annoying. I don't think these have been labelled with a left and a right. So using the picture, it appears that you want the prong closest to the tusk, to the trunk even. So that should just slide in like that, and the same on this side. Then we need to take our back pieces from the latest assembly, and these should just clip over. Yeah. Okay, so there is a socket here which will plug into the tusk, and then these screw ports will go over the relevant points. It's just about getting this lined up and in position. You might find that you push the neck piece out of the way. However, you can, as long as you don't push that above the neck piece, you can push that back into place like so. Then we can screw in using 3 of the PB screws. So, 1, 1, 2. Like so. And then it's the same on the right side. It's a case of just getting this all finagled into place. This one's a little more awkward because you also have the wires to consider, along with the socket points. And I've completely forgotten the back power cover. Yes, you're going to need the power button from the last issue. No. Right. Okay, I think I'm going to need some tape or something to hold this in place. So I've just taken some electrician's tape, put the power button in, and then taped over so that it doesn't, it's got something to stick against and doesn't go popping out as we try to align everything. It's going to take a minute to line up, so I'll sort this out and I'll be back. Okay, so it took a bit of finagling, but I've got it in, I believe, and it's correct. I've also screwed in the first bolt just so it would stay while I was sorting this out. So I think everything is correct and as it should be. So we can now take the tape off. No, I think the power button's up the wrong way. So the power button's now up the right way. Still not fitting 100%. I think that might be because the other screws aren't in place yet. So let's get that in place and that should hopefully solve the issue. So I think we can get yeah, it's definitely better already. Right. Okay, so everything's screwed in. As you can see there, everything's now screwed in tightly. I think these move so that the head, when it's connected to the body, will be able to lift up and down. I'm assuming so, but it's not obviously clear at this stage. But this moves in and out, which will act as the handle. These definitely, oh yeah, look. So those would be the connectors, and then we can move them to tuck them away. The power button there, and pressing that, you can see they light up. It's definitely a little clearer now. So it's good to see that they are working and everything's in order there. The thing that's annoying me is the horns are splitting. I'll need to get a bit of super glue down the lines there. The instructions never said to glue these, just the tips. So the fact that this is happening is annoying, to say the least. It's fixable, it's easy. Just get a toothpick and a little bit of super glue, clip it in, and that'll hold them. But really the instructions should have said at the outset that glue's needed to keep them in place. We then also have a LED light for the next part of the build, which is the Triceratops. Always frustrates me when they leave little excess bits like this over. There's no reason that couldn't have been included in the next issue, but it is what it is. So that'll go to one side, and then we can get a final look at our Mastodon head. This is definitely a big piece, and it will have obviously an equally large body and everything else to go with it. I do like the trunk's fully articulated. I'm liking the detail on it. I like the lighting. It's just these horns mostly which are infuriating, and this bit was awkward to get assembled, but it's done now and there's no apparent issues. So there we have it. Then, as always, to close out the episode, we can take a look at this week in Power Rangers. So I believe this should be episode 18, Green with Evil Part 2, Jason's Battle. Obviously at this point Tommy has been turned evil, and Jason has been kidnapped and taken to Rita's prison. We get a profile on Babu. We get our episode summary and some nice episode shots. And then our interesting fact is, for the first time, actor Jason Frank is included in the opening titles as Tommy, linking him to the Green Ranger image. So there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, may the power protect you.